everyone, I am Dim and Dim I am, and I just learned that one of the songs in my first video was copyright, so that's cool. I removed the song so that if you're wondering why I haven't said anything until now, it's because I didn't realize until now, but that, yeah, I'm gonna remove the song and hopefully, you know, things will be good and it'll get monetized. I don't know, we'll see what happens there. I don't know if it's just gonna remove the audio completely or if it's just gonna be silence, but if it's not just silence, I'll add a link to the original song. How about that? I'll add a link to the original song. That way you guys can go listen to it over the intro like you do. But on another note, I found this codex in the game menu, and I feel like it would be a good idea to kind of read said codex on the video, because why not? So that's what I'm gonna do, and then maybe after, you know, I get through every section, I'll read the codex some more and see if there's anything new. But Gregor Forrester. Lord Forrester is lord of a strong northern house, and a bannerman of House Stark. As a youth, he famously arm-wrestled Galbert Glover for the privilege of becoming the man's squire. Glover later joked that he'd gladly lose the match all over again. Gregor married Alyssa Branfield, a daughter of Southron Tagrian's loyalists, before Robert Baratheon seized the Iron Throne. Gregor ascended to the lordship after his father died at the Trident, and has led House Forrester during the 16 years since. Lady Elisa Forrester, Lord Forrester's wife. Elisa Forrester was born to House Branfield, a minor southern house that was destroyed when the Tagrian dynasty fell. She had been married to Gregor for many years when Robert's rebellion signaled her family's demise, yet she nonetheless felt conflicted between her father's loyalties and her husband's. In time, Elisa came to feel that Ironrath was her true home. I cannot read! And she embraced her role as the Forrester matriarch. She has silently sworn that she'll never see her family destroyed again. Roderick Forrester, firstborn son. Lord Forrester's eldest son. Roderick was trained from an early age to shoulder the burdens of leadership. In truth, he was built for the role. Strong, charismatic, and formidable on the battlefield. When Robb Stark called his banner to war, Lord Forrester asked Roderick to stay behind and protect Ironrath. But Roderick would have none of it. Instead, he rode off at his father's side and led the Forrester cavalry with such valor that his name came to be feared amongst the ranks of Lannister soldiers. Asher Forrester, exiled second son. I still want him to be Usher. Asher had always been a rebellious youth, brawling in taverns, sleeping with whores, and finding ways to raise his father's ire. But his life took a dark turn when at age 17 he fell in love with Gwyn Whitehill, the eldest daughter of his father's bitter rival. Bloodshed ensued, and Lord Forrester faced a grim choice: go to war or exile Asher across the narrow sea. He chose the latter. Asher remains in Essos to this day, living as a sellsword, trying not to think about the life he left behind. Mira Forrester, eldest daughter. Mira had always been fond of Ironrath, but Lady Forrester, wanting her eldest daughter to learn the ways of a southern court, arranged for Mira to serve as a handmaiden to Marguerite Tyrell. To Mira's great surprise, she enjoyed attending on Marguerite at High Garden, and followed her to King's Landing with enthusiasm. Life in the capital has not been easy for Mira, as her straightforward northern ways are often at odds with the subtleties of court life, but she also has more guile than she realizes. Ethan Forrester, third-born son. Whereas the elder brothers were natural warriors, Ethan always found himself drawn to pursuits of the mind, particularly music and books. He also bore a great love of the towering trees of Ironrath, a love he still shares with his twin sister Talia. Ethan was just a boy when House Forrester joined the War of the Five Kings, but by war's end he had been thrust into a role he was unprepared for. On cool autumn evenings, Ethan can still be heard playing his lute in the Ironwood Grove. Talia Forrester, second-born daughter. During her fourth pregnancy, Lady Forrester dreamed she would birth a daughter with a voice like the summer rain. but as fate would have it, she gave birth to a boy. The infant Ethan wailed for hours until Lady Forrester entered his second labor, this time birthing a girl. She named the girl Talia, after her own mother, and from then on, Ethan hardly ever cried. Her dream came true, for there's no sound at Ironrath more lovely than that of Talia singing as her brother plays the lute. Ryan Forrester, fourth-born son. Is it Ryan? Rion? Royan? I don't know. The last of the Forrester children, Ryan grew up idolizing his elder siblings and spent many an hour chasing Ethan and Talia through the grove. His youth had been pleasant and shielded from responsibility, but recently Ryan's innocence has begun to fade. When the war begun, Ryan was too young to understand why Roderick and his father were leaving home, but the grim realities of a house at war has been impossible to avoid, and Ryan now asks questions for which his siblings have no easy answers. Garrett Tuttle, squire to Lord Forrester. Garrett was raised on stories of heroism about the likes of Arthur Dane and Simeon Stareyes. Though the son of a pig farmer, he was always aspired to one day become a warrior himself. With the help of his uncle Duncan, who had risen from low-born origins to become Castellan of Ironrath, Garrett found work in Lord Forrester's stables, rising through the ranks to eventually be named his squire. Garrett has served the Lord Forrester throughout the long months in King Rob's army, and is ready to be a warrior in his own right. Duncan Tuttle, Castellan of Ironrath. As a boy, Duncan showed such talent for managing his family's farm that everyone assumed he'd one day take over, but Duncan was fated to run more than fields in a pig pen. In time, he struck up an unlikely friendship with Gregor Forrester, the heir to the House Forrester. The two grew close, and when Gregor became lord, he named Duncan his Castellan. Many eyebrows were raised, but Duncan proved himself worthy, and had served the house well in the long years since. Sir Roland de Gore, Ironrath's Master-at-Arms. Roland de Gore joined Lord Forrester's army after his family was wiped out by Ironborn during Balin Greyjourn's rebellion. De Gore has a natural grasp of military tactics and strategy, and came to play a crucial role in the siege of Pike that ended the war. In the months that followed, King Robert awarded Roland a knighthood, and Lord Forrester asked him to serve as Ironrath's Master-at-Arms. Sir Roland still holds this position and is known for his military expertise, as well as his legendary temper. Maester Otengrin, Maester to Ironrath. Originating from a minor house in the Vale, Maester Ortingrin studied at the Citadel in the hopes of being assigned to the Eyrie. But by the time he'd earned enough links on his chain to graduate from Acolyte, Jean Aaron had been murdered and the South was in turmoil. The Citadel ultimately assigned Maester Ortingrin to Ironrath, where he soon came to respect the Forrester family's honor and integrity. He now serves the Forresters with pride and has become a trusted advisor to the Lord. Malcolm Branfield, Lady Forrester's brother. As a young man, Malcolm was the black sheep of the Branfield family. He liked to roam the countryside in the style of a hedge knight, refusing his father's offers of marriage and lands. Malcolm fought bravely alongside his brothers when House Branfield fell, yet he and his sister were the only two survivors. Malcolm now lives with Lady Alyssa's new family at Ironrath, though he still tends to disappear for weeks at a stretch. Malcolm has fathered no children, thus he is the last of the Branfield line. Ironrath, ancient seat of the House Forrester. An imposing stronghold surrounded by towering ironwood trees, Ironrath marks the ancestral home of House Forrester, built over 1,500 years ago by Cedric Forrester and his triplet son, Atherin? What brain? What? Ironrath is a testament to the strength and endurance of Ironwood itself. More than one visitor has called Ironrath the most striking keep in the north. Even Ned Stark was said to be envious. Ironrath sits on the edge of this largest ironwood forest in Westeros, which has proven to be a strategic advantage for the house. That was a long read. Oh my god, my freaking jaw hurts. That took 10 minutes to read almost. Just about, maybe 7. But still, that was a really long read and I regret it. But we're gonna do it again when there's more stuff to read. But for now, let's get back into the game. Because ouch.
From the day you arrived in Highgarden, I've thought of you more as a friend than as my handmaiden. A dear friend, in fact.
I need to rest my jaw.
Thank you, my lady.
And you know how I feel about what's happened to your family. I feel your pain as if it were my own. What you've suffered is beyond imagining.
You're very kind, my lady.
Of course, Mira, but you must not despair. We will get through this together. You must understand there are limits to what I can say, especially here in King's Landing, now that I am to be queen.
Or the devil.
To have a handmaiden from the north whose family fought for Robb Stark.
I still
It
say you're the
raises
devil.
questions at a time I can least afford.
I don't know anything about you, but you look like the devil.
Cersei herself cornered me this morning outside the Royal Sept. She mentioned the northern girl in my service, and she painted you a traitor.
Oh, shit.
She was very pleased with herself.
I'm not a traitor.
Of course not. It's only an excuse to torment you, and by extension, me. She demands an audience. She wants an apology of some sort. For what, I don't know, but she's waiting for us now, and I promised I would bring you to her. I wouldn't ask this of you if it were not important.
I'll do as you ask, my lady.
I knew I could trust you. Humor her. Tell her what she wants to hear.
I didn't have a chance to tell her about
See
my
if the
mother.
Queen Regent is ready to receive us. You'll be fine. I know you will. You may feel one thing, but you must say another.
Are you the devil?
Good luck.
Thank you. I don't know, maybe this lady I'm about to go talk to right now is the devil. Who knows? Maybe this woman, Marjorie, is the handmaiden to the devil.
You can do this.
Oh, is that Peter Dinklage? Do I see Peter Dinklage in the... I think that might be Peter Dinklage. Yeah, it is Peter Dinklage.
Ah, Lady Marjorie. Aren't you looking lovely this evening?
Lord
The
Tyrion.
Dinklage.
Your Grace? With your permission, allow me to introduce Lady Mira of House
I mean, if she's
Forrester.
married to Peter Dinklage, then she probably is the devil.
I will speak truly, Your Grace.
I should hope so. Speak falsely, and it'll be worse for you.
House Forrester is a northern house loyal to the king.
Are they?
I beg your pardon, Your Grace.
I wasn't talking to you. I want to hear from the
Wow.
girl.
Rude.
Is your family loyal to the king?
Perhaps you should ask the new Lord Forrester.
He's not here, is he? She is.
Yes, Your Grace. To the one true king.
The one true king. Yet she didn't say which. The girl is
Shut up,
clever.
Dinklage.
She only meant...
I don't care what she meant. I care what she said. I won't stand for impertinence from a girl of the north.
If you would give her the chance to explain...
Perhaps she can explain why the Forresters have been loyal bannermen to House Stark for centuries. A house of traitors.
They were the wardens of the north. We all served at the pleasure of the king.
Clever girl.
Perhaps too clever for her own good. And she would have us believe she didn't know which king she served. Is your house willing to swear fealty to your new liege lord, Roose Bolton?
He is the warden of the north, Your Grace.
He is. And I the Queen Regent and Tyrion the Master of Coin.
The girl has a remarkable talent for answering questions while in fact saying nothing at all.
I don't know how to feel about
Old
that.
allegiances are not easily abandoned. But now that the war is over, we must look to rebuild and forge new alliances. There are ships and shields to be built, and Joffrey will need a steady supply of ironwood for his armies. I'm told there are others who would happily serve that purpose, but I trust we can rely on House Forrester.
was that
Forster
for me to
Ironwood
say?
does seem rather unique.
To our mutual benefit, Your Grace.
And at the pleasure of your king. It would be a shame to see it fall into the hands of another house. I imagine you'd do almost anything to prevent that from happening, wouldn't you? Ask any Lannister, and they'd do whatever was necessary to save Casterly Rock. It would be unfortunate to see another house lay claim to what's yours. Or nothing, perhaps. It's hard to tell either way.
What
Sometimes
would you
it is
have the
better
girl
just to
do,
say
Cersei?
nothing.
It's not as if she fought beside the Starks, wielding a battle axe for the Northern Army.
It raises an interesting question, I suppose.
Slip
Can
bodily
we truly blame
neck
those
back.
who end up on the wrong side of the
Gunga?
wheel? Our dear Marjorie
What?
here was
What was
betrothed
that?
to Renly Baratheon on the false assumption that he would one day rule the Seven Kingdoms.
What was that?
Can we fault her
Subtitles.
for
What are you
her
doing?
mistake? Should she be held accountable?
I don't even know what was going on now.
I'm sure she regrets it.
Perhaps. Perhaps not.
If there's a point
I don't even
to
know what was
this,
going on.
I hope you find it quickly.
Loyalty can be such a hard thing to define. This city alone is filled with all sorts of ambitious opportunists looking to reinvent themselves, pretending to be something they're not. Who knows what lurks within their hearts? You are a girl from the north, here in service to Lady Marjorie. One can only assume her interests are yours. Yet loyalty to a king, that must be absolute, beyond question. And if your loyalties were to become conflicted between your king and the very person whom you serve, what would you do then?
I'm sure she
Let the
would...
girl answer the question. Go on.
My loyalties would never conflict, Your Grace.
That's a coward's answer. I will not have my time wasted by a northern girl who thinks she can play games. Who do you choose?
Well, fuck. I guess we're gonna find out next time, because I'm running late. But, yeah. Please, leave a comment, subscribe, whatever. You know, leave a like. I don't care, but... well, no, I do care. It'll be greatly appreciated. And, I'll see you in the next time. And, no. Damn it! I'm just gonna go. Bye-bye!